Now, Charles, there's something that I forgot to address from the other day I was very, very distressed by this, because I had mentioned that you made a real estate purchase that I won't mention again.
Right.
And then you said, oh, you blew it. You told everybody. But people in the audience said, no, Charles already said that. So
that's all right.
I'm glad I didn't blow it. But the thing, I'm going to make the joke now that I was going to make.
What's that?
Because we're right here outside the former 40/40 Club.
Right.
Hip-hop impresario. What's the guy's name?
Beyonce's husband?
Oh, yeah. Jay-Z, right. Jay-Z. So what I figured was, when in the future you are off living in your foreign destination, we could make our videos like 90s hip-hop videos, where you would be like in a bathtub filled with gold coins.
Yeah, that's a big
And
if.
I'd call you and be like, yo, G, it ain't kicking. And you'd be like, yeah, all right, I'll be right there. And then you just like show up in a helicopter without me telling you where we are or what we're doing, and you take over the party and everything becomes fine.
Yeah. Do you do LSD now, or is that...
That's, no. Hip-hop videos, it's strictly weed.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing any of
Oh,
that
and also
program.
Snoop Dogg quit smoking weed.
Yeah,
if weed had a stock, it would go down from that.
Yeah, I don't think so. And this is, look at this.
Rizzoli books.
Isn't that the
Oh my God.
crazy woman?
Yes,
Isn't that the Spirit Cooker?
it is. Marina Abramovic.
Nice Christmas book.
Wow. This is a crazy place, Charles. I stopped in here one time coming back from the post office on the basis of you having told us about it.
These are high quality
And
coffee table books.
it is
yeah.
an unusually well stocked and obviously expensive bookstore. And I went in there and they had a Guy Burgess book on sale for like $5, so I bought it, but I haven't read it yet. And there were a load of like super obviously leftist nutballs running the place.
But seriously, New York bars at dawn, that's an interesting one. Iconic New York, Divine New York. I mean, you could see if you had a coffee table that looked crazy because it didn't have a book on it, this is where you come to get your coffee table book. I have a whole bunch of them.
They should sell coffee as well.
That's true. They
So-
should sell something, which is apparently not going on much here in New York City.
And I apologize, Charles, because I wanted to have a trilogy with the Goon, the Dour Goon, but he's stooged this week. We've got a bit of a Christmas-themed show.
Yeah, the art department, of course, has done itself once again. But yeah, we're now in a place. People have been pretending that, for example, that there is a Santa Claus. We've been pretending that there is a president.
Wait. There's no Santa Claus?
People have been pretending that there's a president of the United States who's got all of his marbles, and this guy is dingbat fucking crazy. Reliably, anything that he touches turns to worse than shit, worse than diarrhea. And they're now trying to. They had that Taylor Lorenz.
Oh.
Who is the only reason she has a job? I don't want to guess. It's not because she's a journalist. She's an idiot. She'll say anything, do anything. She's in there. She can get the byline of the mainstream press, the Washington Post, trying to debunk the theory that prices have gone up. They went down a jog of saying that, in fact, it's pretty noisy.
Yeah.
Big Mac meal. Well, I want to go up Broadway.
Okay, so then we should wait till we get past this truck, because it's
We'll talk about the Big Mac
something
meal.
important. Just on Taylor Lorenz, while we're waiting, she's a definite social engineer, part of this whole disinformation complex that we'll be talking about in the First Amendment Forum. Sorry for the noise, everybody.
It's a nice.
They have fables in there, Charles.
Liquor-infused ice cream bar. That's
Doesn't seem like a good idea.
So I noticed this because I used to be, as you know, a frequent purveyor of McDonald's coffee. I used to go in the morning, sit and have a couple cups of coffee and occasionally a breakfast thing. And that I noticed pre-COVID, the prices going way, way up.
At McDonald's.
And under Biden, it's not just under Biden, but under Biden, it is true that a Big Mac meal in portions of New York City, I know because I went and I looked at it, that means a Big Mac with French fries and with a soda, and I forget if it's with an apple pie or not, but it's approaching $18. And
How can Chris Christie afford that?
listen, fat.
Yeah. That should be subsidized by the health insurance company.
Right. But and so Biden couldn't have that because that's an easy soundbite for people to use and relate to and see every time that you just go into McDonald's and see how expensive.
Well, they're talking about turkey now.
Yeah, well, we can go into. There's a McDonald's on. We might be able to go into a McDonald's up the road here, unless it's out of business.
McTurkey.
But so I don't know if it's Taylor Lorenz herself, but people like her. Them were on a tear to say, no, that's not true. The price of a Big Mac, not a meal, a Big Mac is not $18.
Oh.
Well, no one ever said that. They said Big Mac meal.
That's what they do. They move you off the actual topic and get you arguing about something different.
And then that if she went to school for the rest of her life, had tutors, and would fed the questions to the exam and to the and had somebody write her papers, she still wouldn't be smart enough to be called a moron. The Corinne Latrine Jean-Pierre.
Oh, she likes Stevie Wonder, though.
She's an idiot.
Did you hear that press conference where someone's like, I was talking to Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder said, and she's like, I love Stevie Wonder. It's like, what is this, a White House press conference or a Stevie Wonder event?
Or a pickup joint,
right?
Now that you're single. But anyway.
And trying to book a meeting with Joe Biden for Stevie Wonder at the press conference.
Yeah, so it was just, the idea that people don't understand the horrid shape of the economy under this moron and his team of morons, really in both parties. And I think people at this stage who make the mistake of getting in the Republicans are evil camp or Democrats are evil camp, the fact is that the two-party system serves nobody other than the corporate donors.
Well, and the people who are the politicians.
Well, not even them so well. I mean, they're settling for $200 million
yeah,
here,
they're
$1 billion there,
in the game, right?
And the corporate donors are making trillions as a group.
Huh.
So they're not charging enough for the corruption, in my view. But
that's not advice, not business advice, not investing advice.
No. And so the two-party system is irretrievably broken, and there's an artificial divide. We've been through a number of election cycles where we all get wrapped up, are the Democrats going to be better or the Republicans? They both suck. They both fucking suck. And
well, I want Trump to smash the FBI. Alina Habba overcame the gag order.
Really?
Yeah, she's allowed to talk about Engoron.
As she should be. I mean,
of course.
Engoron has incredible discretion to do what
all judges do.
Right, and hats off to Alina Habba. She's not only is she attractive, but she's very smart and very
capable
effective.
lawyer. And what I would say is, yes, hats off to her. But it's important that we acknowledge that oh my God, a new weed place, Charles. I don't think she would have. I'm not taking anything away from her, and I do agree she is a very capable lawyer and a brave woman for even getting involved in this, but I don't think she would have been able to do this with another client, because the fact that it's Donald Trump is inherently putting so much attention on this that they cannot get away with this is standard operating procedure. Judges do all kinds of things that abuse people's rights. And actually, Charles, I'm glad we're talking about this, because earlier this morning, a Tsar Bomba equivalent of a legal motion landed on the docket. Judge Caproni's rulings are void pursuant to Rule 60B4. People can read that.
This is
a motion that I have filed that says that Judge Caproni has lost personal jurisdiction over this case. People can read it on crowdsourcethetruth.org. This is out, Charles.
Good. This is also out.
That's what I'm saying. This went out. I was trying to defer to your.
No, and here we are. This is that's a good progress. This is getting into Herald Square here, which
but
normally...
before we move off of that, Charles, I want to emphasize what's happening to Donald Trump is exactly what is being done to me. But the issue is, and I think has been done to many, many other people, the Christmas tree bomber, anybody that gets afoul of the deep state, which appears to be managed by an elite crew within the FBI or very heavily influenced by that. Anybody who runs afoul of that gets put through this program, and I have now presented evidence that is on the docket in federal court of a conspiracy that penetrated the district court. Multiple different districts around the country. And it appears that an employee of the NIH is working with judges in the courts. It's an explosive motion. I hope that people will go and read it. And I hope that, I mean, look, I'm not a lawyer, Charles, so anything could go wrong with this, but I do believe it's properly written and properly before the court, and we'll see what happens. This is the biggest thing I've ever done in court. It could be historic.
Well, so it gets the attention it deserves. I mean, at the same time, we've just had, we've got a movie coming out by an Australian woman about this Wuhan lab leak thing and about the role the CIA
Fauci,
and others played in bribing people to lie.
Change their minds.
To lie.
Not just lie, change their position, it said.
Right. Well,
so if you were like, oh, I was wrong, that's even worse, isn't it?
It's absolutely worse. It's outrageous. I mean, the whole principle behind the World Health Organization, the CDC, and these health bureaucracies is ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's no check and balance to ensure that a schmuck like Fauci, who really is a devious schmuck, evil,
too
schmuck,
soft, evil,
criminal, schmuck, he should, and anybody in the bureaucracy must disclose their economic conflicts of interest, and there shouldn't be any. You shouldn't have the power to shut the world down.
Right.
While at the same time potentially be collecting large sums of money from the vaccines or the drugs or the elements of the drugs or the inventions that are then administered to the global population, chiefly against its will on the basis of lies. I mean, this is to me, I remember back as a youngster when the insider trading scandals broke, and the whole in the 80s with Dennis Levine and people like that, Ivan Boesky, and everybody understood that Wall Street had crooked people in it. There are crooks in every industry. I see it, yeah.
That's a nice Christmas display, Charles.
There?
No, Macy's. But crooks in every industry.
Right. And there was this, business schools and other operations where universities, Campi, were up in arms about ethics, and there was a Bob Foman ethics grant from E.F. Hutton and all this other thing that people were talking.
When he talks, people listen.
Right, exactly. And the attitude was, it's the evil profit-seeking economy in the private sector that needs to be disciplined. The Campi will take care of themselves. Government is noble.
We should go there because we lose signal in Times Square, and this is a tenuous setup today.
Okay. So
unless what did you want to see?
I wanted to walk by the McDonald's. But
let's go to the McDonald's, but I just don't want to go to the 42nd Street is where we lose the...
I just want to see if there is, if it's still open. But anyway, so the truth is, it would seem, that the real waste and corruption's in the public sector. And
what
the
do you
sums,
mean?
well, the sums that we're now up to close to $10 trillion a year of government spending in the U.S., counting state, federal, city, local, other things, all in. And you got to do it that way because what the federal government's very good at doing is saying, all right, we're going to require everybody to do X, Y, and Z. We're just not going to give you the money to follow the law. So the states then have to raise taxes and money in the cities and localities. So you got to look at it all together. And when you do, $10 trillion a year is an absurd amount of money to spend on other people governating you. That's the way, what's his name? Christie talks. I'm a governator.
Does he say that?
No, well,
that
he may as well.
Works
He's a
for
schmuck.
Schwarzenegger.
He's a schmuckinator.
He's a baconator.
He's an idiot.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. He's a fucking moron.
Totally.
But anyway, not that I have strong opinions about him, but when you think about spending $10 trillion a year, that's almost $1 trillion a month. That's 30 billion.
But why is it the private sector? I mean, when I look at
public sector. Public sector.
Okay, I misunderstood.
Yeah, it's a public sector.
Because when I look at the NIH giving out $500,000 grants to do research into disenfranchised populations and disinformation on the internet, not only does that seem like a waste of time, it appears that the individual doing that research is fueling a clandestine campaign to continue censoring people now that the Honorable Terry Doughty in the Western District of Louisiana has ruled on July 4th that these agencies cannot interact with social media companies for the purpose of censoring First Amendment activity of Americans on there. They're now doing it secretly, I've discovered.
Wait a minute, this used to be McDonald's.
Yeah, that was it, and it's gone. I think we noticed that before. That
Amazing.
toasty.
Yeah, how
Wasn't this it?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, of course.
Very important.
Yeah. Gotta get his dungarees pressed. You know.
Dungarees, Charles.
Anyway,
Who invented that? Is it for like?
Levi Strauss.
But I mean, were that a special model for people working with dung? How'd they get that name?
I don't know.
Well, you could get a dung degree.
That's what Joe Biden had,
Exactly.
2 of them. But that level of spending is preposterous, and the only reason that we're spending at that level is that idiots in the Federal Reserve are buying U.S. government debt. You know, who would buy U.S. government debt today, knowing that you've got a collection of morons? This Mayorkas guy suggesting in testimony that we ought to have amnesty for 40 million people, while at the same time there's a study that just came out that Biden's policies of accelerating the influx of illegal invaders
Right.
is now costing, it is estimated, $454 billion a year.
Wow.
And that's not in the budget. You
But
know, all
also,
these-
you're paying. Those people are not going to build the economy. That's paying to add more burden to the economy.
Right, and then you have this situation. I know we're jumping around a little on how much time we have, but this situation in Ireland has gotten so much attention, where, you know, Taylor Lorenz style,
Right.
the Irish government is up in arms that right-wing people, alleged far right-wing people, are failing to note that the stabber of these children was, quote, a citizen.
Right.
The stabber became a citizen, yes,
Right.
but has never held a paying job in Ireland over the course of 23 years, has been on the dole,
Terrible.
has never fit into the society, and that person did turn around and, for inexplicable reasons at this point, stabbed 5 people. You know, I mean, come on. What are we going to do now? Say you can't have knives?
Well, but this goes to exactly what we were talking about earlier, how the argument is never the argument. One of the primary things that they've been saying to convince people that we have some obligation to let every single person under the sun, criminal
don't.
or not, come into the United States was that this country was built on immigrants. But that was immigrants like your grandparents, my grandparents. My grandfather came here with his brothers. None of them had anything. No money.
Right.
Their fathers weren't doctors. They had nothing. Worked on a dock, I'm told, and then eventually was like sweeping floors in a supermarket, became the checkout guy at the supermarket, became the manager of the supermarket, bought the supermarket, sent my father and my aunt to college. And that's how that worked. People who are smoking weed with their kids outside the Roosevelt Hotel are not on that track.
And the baby mamas, not just the kids.
Exactly.
People who have 17 baby mamas and whatever nationality they might be, or 6 or 7 wives. I mean, there is no obligation. And by the way, the immigrants who came early on, their records of most of them, and you know, they followed the law of the time. Most of them.
And you know what, Charles? Along the lines of the story I just told you, there is a guy who works at another supermarket at that Garden of Eden or whatever they call it now, West Side Market. And I was talking to him. He was from Nigeria, and he was pissed off
Sure.
because there was some American black person in the store trying to rob it.
Right.
And this guy was like my grandfather. He came from Nigeria. He's working in the supermarket,
Right.
but he's an honest guy, doing honest work and making a better situation for himself.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up. So, I got developed this relationship with a producer at a big Russian channel called N, as in Nancy TV. They have a show that's kind of like 60 Minutes, where they deal with topics of general interest, and they've had me on now for about 3 years or so, talking about a variety of issues. And today's topic I'm taping on has to do with shoplifting, just that. They sent me a lot of detailed questions about what's really going on. There's some story written by an idiot about an idiot at Bloomberg.
The United States of
More-
idiots, by idiots, about idiots, for idiots.
That's right. I mean, and I used to like Bloomberg, but it's way into this, far left-leaning
Yeah, they're
lunacy
part
at
of it.
this point.
Oh,
Man, the radiators.
these are the best.
Thank you.
People who aren't from New York are unfamiliar with the banging of these crazy things.
Yeah. wake me up in the morning, actually.
Bang, 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 bang.
Right. So the story in Bloomberg is talking. There's a book written by a woman who's, I think, it says she's now a professor of dramaturgy, whatever
What?
that is. Sounds awfully.
Dramaturgy?
I think it's something to do the study of drama or the whatever. But she wrote a book. She got a book written, The Culture of Shoplifting. It was actually published. And this Bloomberg idiot, two women, are writing about shoplifting, and they go on and on saying that shoplifting is actually erotic.
What?
Yeah, I know. Are you kidding me? You're a fucking
It's
thief.
crime.
You're a thief, right? Would you want somebody to go into your apartment and start stealing your shit? Okay, when you steal from a
thrilling.
store, you're a thief.
Yeah.
And the reason, and this woman, the pretext of her book and the article are so stupid. They get into an extensive analysis of statistics on crime, and then they say, well, the statistics are completely unreliable because people are afraid to tell the truth about how much is stolen. But
So we need to make it up.
Let's have paragraphs and paragraphs about percentages and numbers by city, by country. It's all bullshit.
Yeah.
And I witnessed it myself on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I had to get something in CVS, and I go in there and I notice these sketchy-looking people. In this city, homeless people get a specific type of shopping bag. You can kind of tell that they're homeless because of that bag. So these are guys with the bags, open the bag up, go to the most expensive items that are not locked, and just start sweeping it into the bag, looking around furtively. I see it, the cameras see it, and they just boldly, two separate people, not connected, within 5 minutes of my being in the store, and I'm watching them, and the guards are watching. They walk up to the guard, and they say, "You can't touch me, bitch," and they walk out.
And Eric Adams' answer is to say, well, we're going to cut the police by 5%.
Right, and raise your taxes.
Yes.
Right, and
to accommodate the migrants. Now, Charles, we have just about 2 minutes left. Uh-oh, we just got hit with a little connection problem. Hopefully, I was worried that might happen. But okay, I'll be able to reset that. Oh, there it is, it's back.
And here we have Lord and Taylor, what used to be
my grandmother's old place. But Charles, people are going to be able to join us. We're going to continue in 5 minutes.
Great.
On odyssey.com/@crowdsourcethetruth. It's super important for people to sponsor the show. Everything I'm doing right now is being attacked by this, I think, FBI-run conglomeration of George, his idiot brother, and all of their friends. But Charles, this morning, we went into the 9th inning on this. I'm serious. This is a big deal. So people who enjoy the show and want me to stick around, please become a sponsor. I would not be here if it wasn't for the people who've been sponsoring the show, Charles, because quite clearly the plan from the beginning was to knock me off of YouTube and be done with me. If it wasn't for all the people who've been sponsoring on Odyssey and Substack and Patreon and Subscribestar, I would be gone and we wouldn't be able to do this show. So please join us in 2 minutes in the First Amendment Forum. Any last words, Charles, before we go there?
Yeah, the Clinton Foundation filed its 990
yeah.
and its audit, and we couldn't do the show inside today, but we'll be. I'll give you some highlight comments about it.
Yeah,
in the First Amendment Forum.
Well, we wanted to see the Christmas tree is the idea, and so we had a bunch of different things that we were trying to sort out, and only a limited amount of time in which to sort it. There was something else. The judge got switched on this Elon Musk suing Media Matters. That is a sign of something wrong, in my opinion, because if there's no reason for the judge to recuse, which they didn't give one, what is going on is the question.
Was it a Trump-appointed judge replaced
by
a W. Bush?
Judge, yes.
By a W. Bush appointed. Yeah.
So what's with that?
We'll find out.
I don't know. But all right, everybody. We'll see everybody on the other side in the First Amendment Forum. Thanks for tuning in.